Hey everyone, it's me Boona and I'm back with another behind the scenes video. This is for my second single of my new album, Blink of an Eye, Seeing Through the Sky. That rhymes. I just realised how happy that made me. Anyway, getting back to the point. Wow, I'm off point already. That's quite impressive actually. This track was made in a very different way to how my other tracks are made, because usually I take it quite slow and just sort of vibe along as I'm making my music, but with this one I was doing it as fast as I possibly could, because what I did with this one is something I very rarely do, where I find animations of like fractals and stuff, mathematical concept, not going to get into that, I don't understand it, on YouTube, because lots of people animate like patterns and coloured things around fractals. And I thought, that looks really interesting. I wonder what happens if I try and make music while watching that. And obviously they have music to them, so I had the YouTube tab on mute, because that way madness lies. And it just turned out really interesting. I had all these ideas coming and I just had to get them out as quickly as possible before I forgot, and it turned into something really unique. So the way I actually do this is I have a set of timing loops, which you can see here. And this is all using music theory terms, mixture of British and American. I am weird like that. I'm sure you already realised that. And I've got these using the cue function on just a timing loop, and that you won't hear that in the mix at all. And that's so I can sync things using the sync function, so that things can all play in time with each other, depending on the timing, of course, because they're all at different times, without me having to restart the code at all. So I can set the code running, and then I can add a loop, put the sync call in, and it will be perfectly in time. I don't need to restart it. That's not usually how I do things, because I don't usually think to do it when I start making things, even though it would be so much easier for me to do. We digress. So when you get to part 2, now, this was the first ever live code I did. And I am actually really happy with the way it went, and I think it's one of my top pieces that I've ever made, still, because that was actually quite a long time ago now. Probably good. Getting back to the point, it was a long time ago. I still think it's impressive and I'm still really happy with it. And then the part 3 was my second ever live code. These were made literally right after each other. And that, to me, is pleasing. Now, one thing I do want to point out is when I hit run, watch the pane, the logger pane. I'm actually going to point to that with my mouse because you probably can't see that otherwise. It's over here. Why are you doing this? Okay, my software's bugging out, but that's alright because I can just do another screen capture of this. But in effect, the logger pane on this cannot keep up with the code. Because I've got a lot of loops going here. I think I counted it once, so I'm not going to do that now. But I counted it at like 18, which is about double what I usually have, to put that into perspective. And this particular violin is playing 624 times. And it's going on a loop that is 0.125 seconds long, which is negative a second. Plus 17 other loops, which are also all going quite quickly. It just can't cope, and it is quite entertaining to watch. This also featured in my first album teaser. That's still up, you can check that out if you want. I've been linked to that in the YouTube card. I probably pointed the wrong way, I don't care. But there you go, another interesting bit of trivia for you. And as with Desert Marathon Runner, there is a B-side to this track called Reformation. Now, Nitrous for the Deluded, this is a really old track that I really didn't like very much when I first made it, but I'm not entirely sure why. Because I listened back to it and thought, oh, actually, that's pretty cool. So, and it worked with this one, so it worked with Seeing Through the Sky. I am terrible sometimes. So I thought those two would go together quite nicely, single and B-side, so I did that. I actually, when I went back to making the album, putting the tracks together, I nearly put this on as an album track. And I thought, actually, I'm not sure, but I do still definitely want it involved, which is another reason I made it B-side. And I also nearly remixed this track after I first made it, because I liked it so little. I actually thought, what if I just completely like chop it up and redo the whole thing? Eventually I didn't, but I did think about it. And another thing that's really interesting, just before I finish, about Seeing Through the Sky, can I bring up the rest of the code? Yes, I can. Is that it's actually, brace yourself, a happy song by me. Now that doesn't happen. This is probably one of maybe 2 happy songs I've ever written. Just think on that for a while, because that's not how people interpret my music generally. They always say, oh, it's so happy. I'm like, really? Really? But there you go. I did actually manage to write a happy song. So, there you go. I hope this has been interesting for you, and I will see you next time.